Hey guys, I'm going to give a little bit of a disclaimer on this video. I don't usually do disclaimers, but because of the graphic type nature of the photo that's going to be on the screen, and because of the content of a dream and vision from a gentleman that I'm going to share, I just want to give fair warning that I don't think small children should be in the room in case one should glance over and see the screen or be within earshot of what the man's going to be saying. And also, like I said in the last few video, I think the video before last, I said across text on the screen that I've been dealing with some allergy issues. And on top of that, I did another big cleaning project. And I have a broken broom at the time, so I have to bend really close to the floor. And all the dust and all the dander and all that just went all up in my sinus cavity and lodged there. And I've even had, some throat and some cracking going on. So I'm going to try to get through the video with as minimum talking as I possibly can. So bear with me. There's certain content that I would put in the category of tabloid truth channels. And I think you kind of know what I mean. There's certain channels that concentrate on certain content that reminds me, and I liken it to standing in line at the grocery store and looking over and seeing the National Enquirer or the Sun or some kind of magazine like that or publication. And it just kind of gets your attention because it's so outlandish. Well, there's certain channels that have content like that, and they're under the banner of truth. They're in the category of truther channels. And it's content kind of like, the first thing that comes to mind is like tranny stuff. Like all their videos are tranny. Trans investigation, trans apocalypse, and it's just like video after video of different people that are trannies. Well, these are the type, that's an example of content that I put in the tabloid truther category. You may or not agree with me. And I'm not saying that there's not trannies. So I don't know if what I'm getting ready to do would fall in that category or not. And I have debated whether I even wanted to do this video because it's not the kind of content that I usually put out there. And I've sat on it for 3 or 4 days, debating whether I wanted to do it or not. But I went ahead and decided to go with it because of timing. Let me explain. I was on the YouTube scrolling on my feed the other day, and I came across a video, and the thumbnail in particular is what stood out. And it was films that were going to be released in 2021 to keep your eyes out for. But then again, and there again, it was the thumbnail that stuck out with me, and I don't even know really why it did. And I took a screenshot of it, filed away, and saved it. Not sure why, I just did. Well, a few hours later, I was directed to a video that was on Rumble. I've never heard of this gentleman before. Apparently he has a YouTube channel where he shares dreams and visions. But he had created a Rumble account so he could speak more freely. And I don't remember if I got it in a link from a comment section in the video. I honestly don't remember how I came across it. So let me go back to the thumbnail. The thing that stuck out with me on the thumbnail, which you'll see on your screen right now. 2 things: the eyes and the biting of the neck. I don't know why, but that stuck out with me. And again, I screenshot and saved the image. I'm going to play for you the dream and vision that Paul had. And as you're listening, well, I'll just let him say it. But you'll understand why, with the picture and the eyes and the neck, and hear what he says, why I put the two together as timing. The timing of it being within just a few hours of each other. Now, as you know, on my main channel, about a month or so back, I had asked you guys if you would be interested in me doing a premiere style video. And the content was going to be about zombies. But because my channel started getting hit with strikes left and right, I kind of had to shelf doing the premiere. As a matter of fact, I've had to shelf even uploading on my main channel because I've only got one strike left and my channel's gone. So I removed all my old content and I am not putting any new content up until the strikes fall off. So that's why that didn't happen. But as you know, we have been hit left and right with predictive programming and about that subject. And I've also been hit left and right with videos coming to my attention from believers that have had dreams and visions. And I started to almost make a playlist about it because I've come across so many of them that are dealing with this subject that they're saying that God's bringing to their attention or God's revealing to them and showing them these things. So keep in mind the thumbnail you see on your screen and listen to Brother Paul and what he has to say in a dream that he had. So without further ado, and making sure there's no young children in the room, let's roll it.
What I saw in a dream was I had a brother come and get me in one of my cars, one of my father's cars when I was a child. It was this orange station wagon. And ironically, orange, in the prophetic meaning of it, biblically, it means like danger. That's why you see orange sirens on, construction vehicles, and on red and orange go together on an ambulance. So anyway, my brother came to get me. My older brother came to get me in my father's station wagon, and he said we had to go pick up my brothers. Now, I'm from a big family of 9 kids. There's 8 of us alive right now. I'm the only one that hasn't taken the vaccine. And in my dream, I had to go get my brothers and sisters. And when we got there, we all witnessed a woman push another woman into these 2 people that were acting, they were like in a frenzy, it's like their brain had an infection and they wanted to it almost seemed like they had this vampiric way around them. They wanted to suck the blood of other humans. So this woman pushed a woman in another one, and she was yelling and crying hysterically saying, "I'm sorry, it's you or me," and she ran away. And as I'm watching this, I went to say something to one of my brothers, and they were all on the ground in a fetal position. And I was shocked, what's going on here? They all had something was affecting all of them. So I had to pick them all up one by one, put them in this car and get them out of there. So my older brother Gilles was telling me to come and get my brother Dan, Chuck, Len, and a few other family members. And that was the end of that dream. So I never did nothing about that one because it was so strange. I didn't understand. It looked like they were acting like zombies, but they bit people in the throat, and the look in their eyes. And I wanted to mention this part. If you've ever seen a bodybuilder at competition weight or competition, you see their veins, they're like road maps on their body. These people, these 2 men bit into this woman's neck and they stood up, their eyes were going nuts and glowing, and you see the blood coming off their face, and their veins were pumping up every vein on their body. And I prayed about this I don't even remember when I had that dream. That was a long time ago, probably half a year ago. And I didn't touch it because I thought this seems more demonic than something God would show me. For those of you that are new, you'll find out that God always gives me warnings. I don't get those fluffy, nice ones. I get the warnings. He chose me as a watchman to give warnings. So I never touched this for 6 months until I just recently, it was brought to my attention. And I didn't know why, and a whole day went by and I had it on my mind. It would not go away. I'm like, okay, God, you're trying to tell me something. What is it you're trying to tell me? And what it was is I sat down and I said, okay, well, lead me. And I tried to sit down at the Bible, and it wasn't that. I couldn't figure it out. So finally I said, okay, well, let me sit down. And I thought maybe it was a YouTube. I didn't know what it was. So I said, I'm waiting on you, God, to show me something. I sat down, put YouTube on. The first dream that popped up on my feed was about a 15-year-old girl who had a dream that said that anybody that took the vaccines, on the next whatever's coming, their bodies will not be able to fight whatever the next thing is. And she was suggesting that it was a brain infection. Now, I found this very interesting because I just had a recent dream a little while ago, and I shared that on the other channel and on YouTube. And what I had seen was, I had seen people in a room trying to build something, and the first part I didn't understand. The second part, I walked into a classroom and I saw, I don't want to say they were in lab coats, but it was a teacher with students, and they were making some type of a recipe. And what I saw them slicing up really, really fine, almost like, it was brutal, like it was so fine, it was almost like microscopic fine. And I'm like, I asked the teacher, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, we're putting this in our recipe. And I had no idea. And the first thing that I heard in my spirit as I was watching them do this is I heard prawns. And one of my friends told me it might have been a prong, but it doesn't matter, they're both the same thing. They're both bottom feeding crustacean little animals in the bottom of the ocean, and they can actually infect you like a parasite, especially the prong. So if you look up the definition of a prong, I'll put all this up too again. And actually, I'll see if I could download my video and put it on here too to follow it. But all to say that a prong is like what's a mad cow disease. It's something that goes into an animal and it affects its brain, which leads to mad cow disease, right? So in a human, whatever they put in the vaccine, this mRNA or whatever they're not telling us, there's toxins in there. This girl's dream suggested that those who didn't take the vaccine, whatever this next, infection, pestilence, whatever, will be okay. The ones that took the vaccine will not be able to fight it, and it'll turn into some infection. So I'm only sharing this because her dream goes with mine. And the last part I forgot to mention about that last dream is, when I left the classroom, I was given a flash vision and I saw the inside of a cell. And if anybody's ever taken biology, they show you all the cytoplasm and the nucleus and all that stuff. I saw this little microscopic, it looked like an amoeba in the cell, but on the outside of the nucleus, and it began to take over. And its goal in its role was to take over the cell, which would spread like an infection over the whole body. So I'll stop there, I'll leave it at that, and I'll ask to see what you guys think about this. Please comment on it, and that's the end of those shared dreams, and there'll be many more to go. I love you guys. Jesus loves you more. I'll see you in the next video.